it seems that the flow has started, and everything happens at its own time, at its own pace. This land has made us wait. I was told that this land has waited for 5,000 years for this moment to arrive. And I was told that I was the chosen one, the blessed one who could come to the land. I was told that the energies of the land will speak to me. I was told that I have been prepared for this. I was told that this is one of the biggest projects, spiritual projects ever. And I was also told that this will be the final one that the Master creates. So, what that means, I don't know. I don't know how big it's going to be, but I can feel it now the way it's coming together. That perhaps just not me. I've always felt, and I was told that, all those who have been chosen for this will come together. I think it's a fulfillment of a journey of our whole evolution, of lifetimes of being with masters. I'm absolutely certain that all of us have been with various masters, and we've been with Jesus, we've been with Rama, Krishna, and all the other ones. And to my mind, this is the fulfillment of a culmination of a very beautiful journey. And it doesn't happen, you know it by now. We all have had enough spiritual experiences to know that it's not a random act that we are all sitting together on this table in this place, not even knowing that a place like this existed on this planet. And how the twist of destiny and how time calls us to be together. It's so brilliant to watch that it's actually a play. And when you look back at your life and you look back at the events which brought you to this point, you realize that it's like a big dream. Even yesterday when, I and Tobias were standing there and watching it, and, the one thing that I told him later on was that it's so strange that this whole thing already seems to be a set match, It's like already the buildings are already there. I could see everything. And it's just that now the physical steps have to be taken and it'll come. Okay? Because it's a calling of time, it's a calling of consciousness, and the consciousness already has a plan. And that's what we agreed from day one, that we are not going to be fixed, we are not going to be stubborn, we are not going to be rigid in anything. As consciousness keeps showing us the light, we will follow the path of light, and we'll not bring our mind into it. And mind has preferences, likes, dislikes, right? And we will let it evolve as it comes, right? And if you've seen in our journey so far, we've always followed that principle, even with our website or anything, as we are willing to actually correct what we did yesterday. Because yesterday there was something else, and in this moment something is being shown. If we are not present to this moment, because to me, I've always experienced that the only truth that is ever worth pursuing is this moment. Because this moment is what it is all about. Whatever happened yesterday just doesn't matter at all, right? It's a chain. It's a accumulation of events that bring you to this present moment. If you are having this conversation today, this morning, then whatever has happened so far in our life is resulted in this moment to be. And if we can always live our life in this acknowledgement, appreciation and celebration of this current moment, that this is the only truth, then that is what is self-realization. That is what is living your truth. And if we can, at every point of time, as we live, as we are aware, we can remain in our truth. We can remain in the purity of what we are thinking, what we are saying, and what we are doing. Actually, to me, that is life simplified to the present moment. There's nothing more, there is nothing less. Because what has to happen is going to happen. What we have to do, we will all do, because we are prepared like that. We're not going to shy away from anything. We are in it fully. There are no half stops, and that's why I keep, a lot of other sadhana that we do, a lot of other things I push a lot of you into, is only because I believe that there should be no aspect of our life which is incomplete. We should not be scared of anything. We should not run away from anything. We should not be shy, because these are all like black spots, which there are blocks. These are energetic blocks that don't allow us to move forward. So whatever we are uncomfortable with, we must acknowledge, accept, and release. And once we release it, there is a completion that takes place. There is something that happens within us which releases a lot of energy. We do not realize it, but it's important. It's very important. So I can see this now flow coming, and as more and more of us are coming together to celebrate a very beautiful gathering of most pure souls, most loving souls, because this is what we are being shown, and we are experiencing it, that while we have met some beautiful people in our life, but we can clearly see that there is a pure gathering taking place, and that needs to be celebrated like we do. And laughter, music, dance, and just being in that blessed moment is a great gift, or a grace of the consciousness of our Master. And it is truly because of the grace of our Master that we are together, because He had willed it, He chose us, and He put us on this path. And if we can just continue on this path, being in this togetherness, being there for each other, keeping our egos aside, keeping our individual desires aside, keeping our still desires. You see, the desires of the flesh are very weak. If we go into that flesh and we go into the body consciousness, there are challenges in this world. And that is where all the cloud comes in. That is where we start getting foggy in our mind. We go weak in our knees, and we start feeling anxious. If we use the mind, then there are challenges galore in this world. But we operate from our heart center, we operate from the flow, and everything just falls into place. I've learned this because I've been pushed through so many challenges in my life continuously. It was like a barrage. There was only one way for me to deal with it, was to just keep going through it. And not even, at one point you become numb. You do not bother, what's coming, and you just keep walking. And then you realize actually that all anxieties and all fears were in the mind. And as you walk through that, when you come the other side, you realize that it was all an imagination, right, of the so-called challenges and difficulties. So, and then you realize that it was just the grip of your mind which created everything as a challenge. So if you just keep walking, if you just hold that truth in your heart, everything starts actually happening around you. So that's all. It's actually, life is so simple. It's so beautiful. There is such a song and dance to life if we were to experience this freedom from the mind, freedom from the clutches of all our preconceived ideas. And that's what is the full freedom about. Scientific, unscientific, logical, illogical, doesn't matter, right? There is nothing that if we set about, we cannot prove. We will always prove our point, because that's how mind is created. But we want to go beyond a point of view. We want to go to a point where we just experience the truth in the moment and be present to it and be able to celebrate it. And so therefore this life for us has always been a paradox. It has been a contradiction. It has been the existence of the two together. And if we are able to celebrate that contradiction, that's beautiful. So on one hand, actually there is no contradiction, there is no separation. The separation is how we see it, is how we have viewed it and how we have been taught to view it. We've been conditioned to view it in a certain way. Actually there are no paradoxes. So a bhajans on one hand and the eye of the tiger and dancing is actually the expression of the same divinity. Okay, so there are no two which makes us serious and staid and the other that makes us laugh and celebrate. Actually in both, in something so intensely spiritual there is joy and celebration, and in something which is joyful and fun light music there is something very serious and profound in it. It depends upon where you are in your inner space. It does not depend upon these things. So when you are joyful at heart, you can easily flip between both the things and you experience the same joy in both. And there are no differences, there are no opposites. Opposites have always been created only to prove a point to us. And once we understand that point, we merge these two paradoxes into one. And that oneness is what the coming together of the yin and yang, the Shakti and the Shiva, and that Bindu that we are trying to celebrate in the yantra. Geometrical shapes will come, designs will come, everything is going to come because we are in tune. We know we are being guided. And as long as we remain tuned to it, and as long as we are open and we are in acceptance, everything is going to flow. That's all that we need to do. And that's the journey of life. Any lifetime when we come, if we just remain in that tuning and remain in that flow, everything is effortless and spontaneous because it's flowing from love. And as like today morning's message is the same, that how can you make an effort to be loving? Because love is spontaneous. Laughter is spontaneous. Right? It comes from within. You don't make an effort to it. Like you don't make an effort to breathe. You do not make an effort to eat. You do not make effort to love. It comes. So life is flowing from the source of love. So therefore everything is actually effortless if it flows from that space. And we all have to just reach that space. And when we do, we know it. We know that freedom, we know that joy, we know that music, we know that melody in our heart. And that's the reason we've come together. For each one of us, it is a celebration of that. And as we help each other to get there, in this joy is the basis of Kailasa. Okay, and it's not just about what's going to happen here. This is going to be an inspiration for the whole universe, and we will help create so many others. So this is where we are.